Welcome back, YouTube fans. Tim Cooper, Cooper's Automotive, where those sick cars come for recuperation and the well-maintained cars come to stay that way. We've got a customer that drove in today that exhibiting a shake on acceleration. It's a 1999 Mazda Miata, an older one, but I'm going to show you how I diagnosed this, what I found, and we're going to walk through it, okay? So 1999 Mazda Miata, and follow me this way. I've already gotten into this a little bit, okay? Alright. Select the video here. We're going to select the Mazda because I already had it logged in here. Load the engine controller, and it's an automatic, okay? And we're gonna pull codes here. So here we've got it. We got a misfire on cylinder number 3. We got an emission gas recirculation flow detection, like an EGR possible situation here. We've also got an emission control system gross leak on the fuel system. One here says undescribed, but she's not interested about these right now. She's interested in this misfire right here. So let's go out to the engine now. Alright, so I pulled the spark plug wires up, and you can see all this oil getting down into the cylinder holes, every one of them. What I noticed when I pulled this wire up right here on cylinder number 3, it was arcing out of the boot and just jumping all over the place. So it's going to need a set of spark plug wires, all of these replaced. It's got Bosch Platinum spark plugs in it. My personal preference, don't like them. Won't use them on anything other than a Jaguar or Mercedes or something like that. So what we're actually going to use, they make better ones, but this car doesn't require that. We're going to use NGK G-Powers, right? Spark plug wire set we're going to use is going to be the belt and edges 704/78. It's going to need a valve cover changed, okay? Stop that oil. Little O-rings down on each side of this, part of the gasket that goes around this whole cover. I want to show you, she had this done. She has to take this back to the shop that repaired this. If you look right there, see that yellow, and see that gasket's pushed out? Somebody put a yellow weather stripping on a rubber gasket. That's a rookie mistake, because that yellow weather stripping gets hard. And when it gets hard, it actually causes a leak. You're not going to be able to see it probably. I'll try. Let me get a flashlight. Let's see if I can show you this. Right there. Dave, I don't know if you can get a shot of this, Dave, but right down inside of that hole on this side, again, you can see yellow RVT sealer. Guys, don't do it. It's a rubber gasket. You don't need anything to stick the gasket up in there and hold it in place. The only thing you need sealer for is the mounting areas for the cover, and you're going to use Gray Ultra Permatex RVT, not weather stripping, alright? So we're going to get all the spark plugs out of it. I'm going to blow all the oil out of all these cylinders, and at least enough that I can get her back to her destination. Now every one of these stuck this rubber boot because it swelled the boot on the wires. So it stuck the boot down inside there, so we got to try to get that stinking boot out of there, which is going to be a little bit of a pain in the neck. See if I can get a smaller socket that will just grab it. Alright, so I just got a 13mm socket to grab the rubber piece Needle nose are a little hard to get down in there. There's my airplane part. And we got, like I said, that's in every cylinder that happened. See how easy that was? Hit a socket to grab the rubber, it comes out. You're not fighting it. You get that thing out of there. Let's get rid of that. Alright. So I get these spark plugs out of here. I'm going to show you another problem that I found once I get these plugs and wires in this thing. I don't particularly like to use air on spark plugs. I will sometimes, but I like to be able to feel it, make sure everything's coming out okay. That one's already out. Obviously I'll clean all this oil up. Now usually your spark plug tool has a piece of rubber in there that will grab. Well, over the years, those things deteriorate and fall out. So use spark plug wire. Pull your plugs out. There you go. Alright. Now, let's get our new spark plugs here. I'm going to go grab some anti-seize to put on the threads. I'll be back in a second. Our spark plug's ready for install. They put these little covers on it so you don't bend them closed. That's during shipping. So you always look at them. We used to gap them. I'm not so much into that. I like to gap a platinum plug. There we go. Many of you guys have installed O2 sensors, Denzos, and stuff like that. Well, you got this anti-seize, and you always have a little left over. And I don't really like this copper-coated anti-seize. Alright. Being careful to put that one down inside there. You don't want to just drop the spark plug down in there. Then they can install tool that's, again, it's just a long boot that grabs the spark plug. Alright, so we got plugs in there. You can fill it with your socket wrench, and you can tell that you've got them started straight. Alright, tighten them up. We torque a lot of stuff. Typically spark plugs are not one of them. After years of doing it, you develop what I call, I don't know, just a good feel for what's tight enough. There are little sealing washers usually on the bottom of them. You just crush that little sealing washer so you don't have compression rate coming through there. Alright, let's get that out of there. And that one. That. Let's get our new wire set opened up. Now, oh, these buildings come with a lifetime warranty. It used to be my favorite wire. Used to really rave on them. I don't think they make them as good as they used to. These numbers are wired. Wired. Of course they're wired. Or they're numbered. So you know which cylinders that they go on. We're going to start with cylinder number 4, the furthest one back. This is a little dielectric compound. Just helps slide it in there and out of there easier. Just put a little bit in it. Find your number 4 spark plug wire. It's that one right there. There we go. It's number 2, 3, number 4. You don't need a lot of this. Just a little dab will do you. Make sure it's seated all the way down and sealed. Again on your coil pack. Now we want number 3. This one. Tell you what I'm going to do. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this dielectric on all these. Just done. That way I can keep looking for it every time I set it down. Okay, don't need it. Alright, number 3. Find your number 3. It's that one right there. I wasn't worried about washing the oil out of the cylinders right now. It's going to go down inside the cylinder. When you start it up, it's just going to burn it out. It wasn't a lot anyway. Okay. That's some tight wires, fellas. I'm going to have to get a little pick and get up underneath that. Okay, basically a little radiator tool to kind of get that boot released. There we go. Alright, these are number 2. See it right on there. These are original wires. Number 2 on that one. I'm not going to seat that one in there just yet. These coil towers can be brittle. You got to be a little careful. And our number 1. Alright. There. Now we'll seat that down. Right there. Typically there's another strap right here. This one's missing it. I'll lay it down there just like that and get that sealed. Go back. Try to make it look as nice as you can. Alright, so we've got all those in, okay? Now just some brake clean to wash that off. I heard dry cleaners use brake clean for cleaning clothes or similar products. This stuff will catch fire. So you kind of want it to dissipate. Now, I told you there was another problem that I found. We have a little surging issue going on. This car has a mass airflow sensor on it. Right here. Has a boot coming across. And I'm just looking at it. And I found the crankcase vent hose. It's broken. Sort of looks like it may have been tried to be glued in there again. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to pull the old nipple out of this, crack that one out, slide a new nipple inside of here, and connect that and repair it. That's how I'll handle that. Okay, just when I took that boot off, little nipple's broken off down here. I'm gonna just try to drill it out a little bit. Just plastic anyway. Might have to use a couple of different sizes till we get it all out of there. Step it up a little bit at a time. I think that's glue, or they glued it in there. Keep opening that up till I get that in there. But one thing I want to check before I do that to make sure this fits the other side. With this little vent hose right here, you got to get that old crud out of there. On this side. Usually they're so brittle you can just snap this stuff off, or push it up like that. Works sometimes too. Got the old piece out that was busted there. Yeah, this is too big. This won't fit that side, so I've got to order a nipple for this. So we're gonna have to tune back in. Okay, I found I had a vacuum tube the right size. I just put a cap on this side. Drill this out to the proper size. Fits that down inside there. So now I'm going to stop that vacuum leak throwing off that mass airflow sensor and we'll pull this out. So get it going the right direction. I went ahead and got the old piece out of there. I don't know if I did show that. Slide that hose on just like that now. This on here. Snorkel back on. Tighten that up. There we are. Let's start it up and see how it sounds. Resilient tool. No more Misfire. Not skipping anymore. Just gonna take it back to the other shop. Hopefully they'll take care of the valve cover issue. If they don't, she's coming back here. And we'll dig further into the evap system, the EGR flow problem. A lot of times that EGR flow problem is corrosion built up through, or carbon built up through where the EGR goes. You gotta go to the wire brush and clean it out. A lot of times it's that. But we're not digging after that today. I am going to go ahead and log our codes so that I know what they were, but I'm going to clear them. And we've got a fix here on a 99 Mazda Miata Misfire. Checked engine light. Running smooth now. Had a little bit of a surge before because of that little vacuum tube that was off. Unmetered. The airflow going through there, throwing off the mass airflow sensor. Alright? Hey, thanks again for watching, and subscribe to our channel if you like what you see. Okay, we're following up on the Mazda Miata 1999. She decided to let me do the valve cover gasket that the other shop had done. I explained a little bit about that yellow weather stripping. I want to show you this. I pulled this valve cover off, and you can see it. Again, you saw it from up top. You see it right there? And that will cause a leak. We also filled it up so full that they couldn't even get the gasket in. Crushed the gasket, got yellow RVT in this corner, or yellow, it's not RVT, yellow weather strip. I gotta dig all this out. It's probably gonna make it might make it a pain in the butt for the reason, I don't know. And I said old school, we used yellow 3M weather strip for gluing gaskets on. You can see that stuff just killing up out of there. That hole's full of all that stuff. We gotta get all that out of there. see it a little bit more now. You see it's around everything. All that crud's got to come out of there, or it's just going to leak again. But we'll work on it, scraping it. You know, this little carbide scraper I've had forever. I swear this thing's probably 25 years old. Never goes dull. It's good on aluminum stuff. We don't need it on this particular piece. I mean, you might could use it up here to get this stuff off. We'll get all that junk out of there. So I say thank you, other shop, for the job. Actually, I hate when stuff like that happens. It's why the field loses credibility and stuff, and people start thinking things like, you know, and mechanics get a bad reputation from stuff like this. And believe it or not, this was done a week ago. 1 week ago. And every one of the spark plug tube holes was full of oil, but especially number 3 was really full. See that stuff coming out of there? Pieces of yellow glue. Just gonna keep picking at it. A little time consuming. They put it up here in the corners. Yeah, you use RVT sealer. You don't use green and yellow glue for that stuff. It's blood, man. There's that part where that gasket wouldn't even go down in there, so then they just tighten down on top of it. Probably they just let this thing set and dry. And the stuff got so dang hard. It's called weather stripping, guys. It's not called sealer. Rubber gaskets don't need sealer. I'm just mostly concerned about the inside groove. That's what's going to create the problem. Kind of like it, I would assume it just makes a hard trail and the oil can just follow that stuff and run right out of there. There it is down inside the groove too. Yeah, set back up here. But I want to show you something on the engine part. See the yellow right there? Around that, we're going to get rid of all that mess. Say it caused the leak. That was cylinder 1, 2, there's 3, 4. Get rid of all that. Get rid of the yellow glue here. Right up here where these cam caps go, very front, there's yellow glue in the corners. Gray, ultra gray, RVT goes on those. That's what we're going to put back there and in these corners just to stop seepage, and that's all you use. So just wanted to show you that. I'll put the gasket back on it, clean this all up and put it back together, and this car will not leak oil again. Once again,